Coming up on Cronkite News, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship is in Phoenix this weekend, and they're hosting a series of events to prep for the big race.
Plus, a local high school football team has tight bonds. How this connection adds their success on and off the field.
And later, find out how a protest led to the arrest of an Arizona grandmother.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening, and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Connor Bonfiglio.
And I'm Nikki Pica. Thank you for joining us. It's championship weekend at Phoenix Raceway as NASCAR will crown a new Xfinity Series champion on Saturday. Leading up to the big event, NASCAR held various events across the valley. Cronkite News reporter Michelle Aaron joins us in studio to tell us how NASCAR is teaming up with the Activate Against Hate campaign.
Last night in Scottsdale, NASCAR sponsored the No H8 or No Hate speakers panel at the W Hotel. By teaming up with the No Hate campaign, they are making strides to improve their relationship with the LGBTQ+ community. The No Hate campaign is a charitable organization whose mission is to promote marriage, gender, and human equality through education. The panel, presented by Phoenix Raceway and NASCAR, featured female NASCAR driver Jennifer Jo Cobb, along with others, who took the stage to promote positive social change. Cobb feels this is one step in the right direction for NASCAR.
To become a part of a movement or to participate in a small way for something that tells people, look, you matter. You may not be, the most popular choice here, or you may be looked down upon in some certain areas. It just feels like a mission of mine to come along and say, you do matter.
Also on hand for the panel was NFL player Brendan Ian Badejo. Ian Badejo is a champion of the rights for gay couples to legally wed. He's thankful to NASCAR and the No Hate campaign for helping to get the message across.
We're always talking to the usual suspects. We're always talking to each other, really. So I think it's huge that NASCAR has us here, and now we get to talk to NASCAR, and we're not just at another LGBTQIA event talking to each other.
Those in attendance were able to take pictures in the signature No Hate campaign style. They also received a free ticket to Saturday's race at Phoenix Motor Speedway. NASCAR has been trying to find ways to create a more welcoming atmosphere for all race fans. The association has struggled with their appearance since driver Bubba Wallace found what he believed to be a noose in his garage at Talladega back in 2020. In the newsroom, Michelle Aaron, Cronkite News.
For veteran Cardinals guard Kelvin Beachum, service is a part of life. Beachum and his fellow offensive linemen show that actions speak louder than words by spending their off day helping those in need. Cronkite News reporter Kevin Redford went to Mesa to see how the Cardinals are using acts of service to benefit the community.
Led by veteran Kelvin Beachum Jr., members of the Arizona Cardinals offensive line took advantage of their off day Tuesday by handing out groceries for residents struggling with rising costs.
Hunger doesn't take a vacation. It doesn't adhere to inflation. It doesn't adhere to a pandemic. And to be able to be a part of the solution, instead of just talking about the problem, is what we're doing here today.
Beachum and his wife Jessica partnered with Verizon and United Food Bank in an effort to feed up to 200 families with milk, eggs, produce, and more.
We used to build around 26,000 emergency food bags a month, and now we're building 36,000. We're seeing the gas prices, the food prices rise, and so it really helps out when people come together to give food out.
Now, this event is also part of the Verizon Gridiron Giving Challenge, which asks fans of both the Cardinals and the New Orleans Saints to compete to see who can donate the most to charity throughout the season.
This is a great opportunity for fans to get involved, fans to come out and be able to support in whatever fashion they want, but also to have those competitive juices going and see who can win this competition at the end of the day.
And with the help of some of the strongest guys in the valley, the food can be moved at an astonishing pace, all delivered with a smile and a wave. In Mesa, Kevin Redford, Cronkite News.
With stops in Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, New York, and now Phoenix, the Beachums have made a strong impact in various corners of the country through food drives like these. Beachum and the Cardinals play Sunday against the Seahawks.
Arizona State football is back home this week at Sun Devil Stadium after beating Colorado in Boulder last Saturday. They face number 12 UCLA tomorrow and know that they have a big task ahead of them. The Bruins are 7-1 on the season, propelled by a high-powered offense, with their only loss coming against 8th-ranked Oregon. On the other sideline, ASU has been shaking up their offense the past couple weeks by utilizing players who have had less time on the field this year. Tight end Messiah Swinson talks about how these changes have added to the team dynamic.
You know, I feel like we got weapons across the board in every position on our offense. You know, and in the past couple weeks, you know, we've really just been utilizing them and, you know, putting everybody in the best position to succeed. So I feel like that's just been the biggest changes. And, you know, as you can see, it worked for us last game, so we're just trying to keep building upon that.
The Sun Devils upset UCLA last season 42-23 and hope to achieve the same outcome in this week's game.
As Houston and Philly battle it out in the Fall Classic, Arizona fans may remember this day 21 years ago when the Diamondbacks won the World Series. The Valley's favorite son, Luis Gonzalez, knocked in the game-winning hit. Now his son is the one scoring the runs. Cronkite News reporter Danny Maha has more on how the young Gonzalez is paving his own path in the Arizona Fall League.
Surprise Saguaro's infielder Jacob Gonzalez, son of Diamondbacks World Series hero Luis Gonzalez, is a Pirates High-A prospect who is sharpening his skills in the Arizona Fall League in hopes of following his father's footsteps to the major leagues.
Yeah, I've just kind of grown into that, you know, he was a great player and he definitely guides me along the way, but kind of shaping my own path now.
Saguaro's hitting coach Jake Elmore has been impressed with what he's seen from Gonzalez.
Great individual, easy to work with, really like his swing, and you know, overall it's just been really good to get to know him, and obviously he's a great baseball player, so I'm excited to see what the future holds for him.
For Gonzalez, who played his high school ball at Chaparral, being back home for the Fall League has been a rewarding experience.
I mean, I love playing here. It's a comfortable environment. I know most of the stadiums, and I get to be at home, which is definitely a bonus as well.
And maybe someday, Jacob will leave an indelible impression on a baseball community, just like his famed father. In Peoria, Danny Maha, Cronkite News.
Thanks to playing high A ball over the summer in Greensboro, North Carolina, Gonzalez was able to come back to his home state this fall, where he grew up.
At Eastmark High School in Mesa, family is embedded in the football program. Fathers have had the opportunity to coach their own children, which creates a unique culture. Cronkite News reporter Ryan Blake illustrates the ties between father and son.
For the Eastmark High School football program, family is everything. Some of the players are coached by their fathers, creating a chemistry like no other.
It helps that our sons have been around the game their whole life. They know the expectations that we have for them, and they can help set the tone.
I think it brings more of an organized family structure to the team. A lot of these kids we know outside of here, and so it brings that family-oriented structure to the team.
For fathers and sons, teaming up on the football field has helped strengthen their family bond.
We've grown so close, closer than I ever was with my dad. So I mean, I'm just so proud of these boys. It's just amazing.
My family structure growing up wasn't always that great, and being able to grow up and actually help other young kids have a good family environment, a good family structure, somewhere to go for positive role models, somewhere to go to for positive reinforcement.
It feels really good, you know, having someone to talk to when time gets tough, and like during the game or at practice, I could just go to them and ask, and they're just there for me.
Spending time on the field together has brought joy to the faces of both the fathers and sons.
He's hilarious, and he makes practice more fun and teaches me a lot more than I thought I could know.
Definitely watching their growth and then seeing them develop into young men.
Just being able to watch him enjoy himself, watch him be a part of a group, of a team that cares so much about each other, with a coaching staff that cares about my son.
I have to tell myself this year to enjoy every moment. To get to coach your son, I didn't think I was going to be able to, so it is a blessing.
While some of the coaches will see their sons move on after this season, the families have memories that will last a lifetime. In Mesa, Ryan Blank, Cronkite News.
The Firebirds are 9-1 on the season, accomplished in part from the strong bonds felt on and off the field.
I'm Diana Quintero. Coming up after the break, I'll have your top news stories. We'll explain how a Supreme Court protest led to the arrest of a Tucson grandma in Washington, D.C. And a landfill in South Phoenix will soon become an area that gives back to the community.
playing. I'm just gonna do me.
Know what I'm saying?
Try to steer the trouble.
Where's the fun in that? You know how ladies can be.
I'ma do what I do.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
That way the flavors will marry nicely.
Can you tell me what I'm looking at?
I'm not looking for love, I'm looking for cookies.
And there's still places to discover.
It just absorbs you.
You can make this at home if you can't find it.
I will continue to eat and drink until you get here. Get here fast.
Cheers.
Oh, look at that. Damn, doesn't that look good?
We are going to be eating well.
It does work.
It does.
We got a happy little sky.
We're just getting started.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Diana Quintero. A Tucson grandmother is one of 3 arrested at the U.S. Supreme Court. The woman disrupted Supreme Court oral arguments on the scope of the Bank Secrecy Act on Wednesday. The women stood up from their seats one at a time and voiced their opposition to this summer's decision overturning Roe v. Wade. The woman said, quote, "We will restore our right to choose. Women of America, vote." None of the justices responded or acknowledged the protesters. According to a Supreme Court spokesperson, the 3 were taken away from the courtroom by security, including Tucson resident Roland Baker. They were arrested and charged.
Election coming up Tuesday. If you haven't voted, vote.
Vote
and when
blue.
you vote, that's right,
Vote
all
blue
the
in
way
Arizona
down.
to save democracy in Arizona. That's why we flew all the way here from Arizona to
Washington,
make
D.C.
sure that the women in Arizona know that we must stand together and we must fight.
Baker was released yesterday. According to a statement from the court's press office, all 3 were charged with, quote, uttering loud, threatening, or abusive language in the Supreme Court and demonstrating with the intent of interfering with the administration of justice. The U.S. economy saw a rise in jobs in October. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 261,000 positions were added in October. Friday's monthly report also showed the U.S. unemployment rate rose to 3.7%. Despite the increase in jobs last month, some economists still fear a recession is looming. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says the U.S. might need to lose jobs if inflation remains out of control. But as of now, the Fed's repeated interest rate hikes haven't stopped employers from hiring workers. The construction of the new Arizona Fresh Agri-Food Innovation Center in South Phoenix recently started. It will include a space of over 100 acres that, according to experts, will benefit the area and Arizona's economy. Cronkite News reporter Jimena Vera explains how.
What it was a landfill site in South Phoenix will become an area with parks, retail food markets, and the distribution of healthy foods. South Phoenix has a lower life expectancy compared to other parts of the valley due to social and cultural factors in nutrition, according to a study from Virginia Commonwealth University.
In South Phoenix, the quality of life needs to be improved. Our life expectancy is 10 to 14 years less in South Phoenix.
Authorities recently announced the construction of the new Arizona Fresh Agri-Food Innovation Center. The project will benefit Arizona's economy, according to city officials.
The capital investment in 4 phases that this project is bringing is approximately $200 million, and the job creation aspect is the other thing that we consider important in the economic impact, and that's about 1,500 jobs that this project is going to create.
Mexico is Arizona's largest trading partner. In 2021, Arizona's exports to Mexico increased by 22.8%, reaching the highest level since 2016.
Being that connection between Mexico, Latin America, to bring fresh produce into Arizona will create the jobs and the food security.
The project developer, Arizona Fresh, is responsible for all costs and construction. City Council may consider possible participation through public infrastructure. The project will offer nutrition education programs for that community.
We want everyone to think about how to eat healthier. We will give priority to local producers and distributors.
A project like this allows us to address those core issues of needing food, exercise, and community in order to live longer and improve our quality of life.
According to the City of Phoenix officials, the center will be operating within 42 months from the construction start date. In the newsroom, Jimena Vera, Cronkite News.
Daylight saving time ends on Sunday, but in Arizona, we don't need to worry about changing our clocks. Peyton Major talks about why we don't follow daylight saving time in Arizona.
On Sunday, most Americans will be switching their clocks back an hour to accommodate for the end of daylight saving time. But here in Arizona, we actually don't follow it. Well, that's because we actually used to follow it, but we changed the standard time in 1964. Now, most of the state continues to follow standard time besides the Navajo Nation, which follows mountain time. And Hawaii also follows along. They have opted out of daylight saving time as well. Well, why did we make the switch? It's pretty hot here in Arizona, as you know. If we didn't, the sunset in the summer could have been as late as 9 p.m. instead of 8 p.m., meaning we'd be exposed to those really hot temperatures for longer throughout the day. There's also some pretty real energy and fuel savings because of our switch to standard time. And most of America actually might be following in our footsteps. The Sunshine Protection Act was passed by the Senate in March and basically would support permanent daylight saving time for the United States. The House has not yet made a decision on the bill and would also need to go to President Biden to sign off. But if it was passed as soon as March, we would not switch our clocks back and we would continue daylight saving time year round. This map shows just how late sunrises would be if we had a more permanent daylight saving time. Seattle would have an 8:57 a.m. sunrise on January 1st, and Atlanta would have a very similar sunrise, 8:42 a.m. in early January. But it's not all negative. Changing our clocks impacts our health too. Drowsy drivers are a real issue, especially in those days following the time change. There's been a 6% increase of accidents, and studies also show heart attacks are impacted. 24% increase in heart attacks because of sleep deprivation. But most Americans actually want to continue daylight saving year round. At the Google touchscreen, Peyton Major, Cronkite News.
Halloween can be fun for children and adults alike, but the holiday may not be quite as joyous for the planet. Cronkite News reporter Sarah Blue has more on how leftover pumpkins impact the environment.
After Halloween, many jack-o'-lanterns make their way from front porches into landfills. These leftovers create harmful greenhouse gases that contribute to climate change. Composting instead of throwing pumpkins away is one way to reduce emissions.
It's really a powerful solution that we can take to ensure that food does not end up rotting in landfills and releasing methane, which will help address climate change.
In Tempe, one school is doing just this. Rover Elementary hosts the Great Pumpkin Rescue. These blue bins may look like normal trash cans, but they are actually full of composted jack-o'-lanterns. At the end of the program, pumpkins are taken to a nearby farm where students can see composting in action.
And that is just a really neat way to really help kids get deeper with their understanding of how all of these things work together within our world.
Both students and the public are welcome to drop off pumpkins. And the 150 pigs at Better Piggies Rescue are happy to have them. This pig rescue in the North Valley is one of the locations that accepts pumpkin donations.
But there's no reason to be throwing them in the garbage. Like, you have a pig or an animal that enjoys eating those pumpkins, we'll give it to them.
Not only do pumpkins help pigs with digestion, they love them too. To be safe for pigs to eat, pumpkins cannot have paint, glitter, or mold on them. Donations can be dropped off at the gate, or you can make an appointment online to feed the pigs in person. In Phoenix, Sarah Blue, Cronkite News.
The Rover Elementary School program sends their pumpkins to Riba Farms. They stop collecting November 6th. Better Piggies Rescue's pumpkin program runs this weekend. Those cooler temperatures we've been experiencing will continue throughout the weekend. Peyton Major is in the Cronkite News Weather Center. Peyton, can we expect warmer temperatures anytime soon?
It's been really chilly outside, actually right outside your door right now at 61 degrees. We're cooling down to the mid-50s by 10 p.m. But yesterday, a cold front went through Arizona. A cold front is the boundary between cold and warm air, and it usually brings pretty dry conditions following it. So that's what we've been feeling today as well. Yesterday, though, the rain ended up being snow actually in the high country. Flagstaff picked up 3 inches, and the Grand Canyon also picked up around 3 inches. But the dryness is really prevalent across the entire state. You can see dew points are in the teens and the 20s for most of Arizona, and then the cold air is going to stick around. You can see tomorrow morning our morning lows will be 47 degrees here in Phoenix, and lots of places will be feeling at or below freezing temperatures like Payson, Holbrook, Show Low, Flagstaff, the Grand Canyon. All of those places will be below freezing. But also tomorrow is the ASU game. Kickoffs at 7:30. We'll be at 65 degrees around then, and then by the fourth quarter we're going to cool into the 50s, so make sure to bring a jacket if you're heading there. So tomorrow we're still 10 degrees below normal. It's going to be chilly, but early next week we're warming up again, back into nearing 80 degrees. Wednesday, though, another system is going to move through, bringing a little bit of rain chances again and dipping temperatures back into the 60s. In the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Peyton Major.
That's it for today's top news stories. Back to you, Connor.
Coming up after the break, race car fans of all ages are taking laps around the track. How Arizonans are fulfilling their racing dreams on a smaller scale.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons. Your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS. When you support Arizona PBS, you plant a seed. Seeds that provide educational outreach in our community. Seeds that put our digital resources to work. Seeds that foster the trusted news coverage you expect from PBS. And seeds that continue the amazing PBS programs you love. But our garden can't keep growing without your support. Visit our website to see all the ways you can help our garden grow. Plant a seed with Arizona PBS today.
Radio-controlled car racing is one of the most niche sports in the world, with cars that can reach speeds of 70 miles per hour. Cronkite News reporter Michael Garaffa went to a local hobby shop in Chandler to learn more about RC car racing in Arizona.
Hobby Action RC is a hobby shop in Chandler that sells radio-controlled cars and parts. It also houses an indoor track where people can test their racing skills.
I mean, it's really the best track, I think, in the nation right now. We have a lot of races. We have a lot of pro races. We've got some world champions here. Fantastic place to meet new people and have a hobby that's AC'd. You know, it's not 200 degrees outside in the summer.
Radio-controlled racing is not a new sport. In fact, it dates back to the 1970s. However, unlike most sports, it doesn't require any skill to start.
RC racing in general is one of those sports that anyone can get into, regardless of skill level. It's instant gratification. You can get out, you can go over jumps, you can go backwards, you can do donuts, you can just have a fun time with it.
It's fun, and it's cool that, like, a lot of adults are in a fast class that a kid could be in.
Like every sport, the goal is to win. However, that isn't why most people do it.
The people that you meet, everybody's super friendly. Everybody helps each other out. I mean, I've been racing only for about 5 years, and then, you know, I've lost a lot of races, but it's still the most fun you can have losing.
There are so many options to choose from when picking your car, ranging from the beginner's models like these, that can be around $200, all the way up to the advanced models, just like this one, that can get up to $1,000. Now, what makes this sport so unique compared to others is the ability to customize your car however you like, regardless of the price.
I could take something that was broken, fix it, I could change it, I could upgrade it, I could make it more my own.
A lot of guys will have them professionally painted. You know, that costs a lot of money to do, but a lot of people will do that. Others will just paint one solid color. Yellow, fluorescent, yellow is a big one, fluorescent, so you can see your car out there.
This high-speed sport is more than just a hobby to those that participate in it. It's a part of their lives.
I don't think I could ever give it up just because of all the good people I've met. You know, I'd miss them.
In Chandler, Michael Garaffa, Cronkite News.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.